Clever boy. Come on. Don't drop it in the puddle. Come on. Come on, you show off. You're just showing off for the camera, aren't you? Yes. Okay. Good job. Now, leave that there. I'm going to put this on your back. So I'm just putting this on him now. This is just a little saddle pad. And then I've got a... You all right? You hold that for me. Good job. Good holding. Just got a little surcingle here. So Romeo's had a big long break. And then last week we went for a walk, like a trail walk. The week before we just had a little bit of time in the stable. And this week, you like to play, don't you? It's, probably best not to eat it. Let's let it go now. Thank you. Let it go. Open up. That's it. Okay. No. So if he's getting too cheeky, he probably needs to have a little bit of a move around. But I'm just going to get this set up first. And gosh, it's so humid here in far north Queensland. It is crazy. Crazy humid. Come this way a little bit, mister. So I'll probably be sweating. He'll be sweating. No, stand there and behave. I hope you can hear me okay. If you can't, it will be a silent video. So if it was good enough in the 1800s, it's good enough for me. So with these videos, I have an extensive experience in horses, but very little experience in videography and YouTube. Excuse me. Please don't do that. So yeah, I thought I would just start anyway and start showing you how I do things. It's not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but some people might like it and some people won't. And hopefully, even if you don't like it, you'll get something out of it, which is what I find. I'll go watch everybody and I just take what works for me out of what they do, and I leave what doesn't work for me. So I'll watch every channel on YouTube because I also believe in supporting YouTube. So I believe in supporting creators and independent artists, independent creators, independent horse people. Which I feel like I could put this on back to front. Oh, it's okay. Yeah. So you can see Mr. Playful here. He's always playing with everything. You having a nice chew on that? Okay, so one of the things, back up. One of the things I believe in is pick your battles. So, my horse is kept in his own paddock with a walk-in, walk-out stable, but he doesn't have any friends in with him, so he's got no one to play with. So he is looking for some stimulation here from me, and playing with his gear is one of the ways he gets that. So I'm not too strict on him with it, but I am about any gear that he might ruin. So I'm strict about him with his saddle. Yeah. Can you let me know if you can hear me or not? I'll just put the chat up. Chat. Hi. Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Mum. Can you hear me? Back up. Nope. No. No silly business. Okay. So, where was I? Okay, so I've got live chat turned on. Okay, good, you can hear me. So if I'm off working, I probably won't see your chat. So it's probably best to save any questions till I come over to the screen. But I will try to read it. I'm still not really up to date with how all this chat business works, so it's a bit of a learning curve for me. No. Okay, so long reining. What is it? Long reining is when you use two long reins to drive your horse from behind, and was used a lot back in the old days because a lot of horses were ridden and used in carriages and that kind of thing, and gradually has gone slowly out of popularity. It's still something I do with every young horse. Excuse me. I know you can't handle me talking. So because he's so active at the moment, what I might do is just give him something to do and see if I can get him to feel a little bit more like concentrating. So take him off and do something with him, and then come back and talk a bit more about long reining. This is the beauty of live video, hey? I don't think many horse people do live videos because they're scared. They're scared what their horse might do and what they will be showing to the world. So it's quite a brave thing to do a live video with horses. And you can criticize me all you like. Go for it. Guess what? I actually learned from criticism, believe it or not. So you can also have your own opinions and do things your own way. You don't have to do things the way I do them. You don't have to treat your horse the way I treat my horse. And you don't have to accept the things from your horse that I accept from my horse. So one thing I've noticed with him is when I'm filming and talking, he gets more playful and more nippy, and I believe that's because he knows I'm not fully present. So this is one of the things when you're working with your horse, you need to be present for their sake. And I would actually rather he bite and pull at this than at a saddle. So I'm actually going to let him do that a little bit, but not Not on my lead rope now. No. 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 Get back. Get back. Get back. Walk on. Okay, so he's feeling that girth a little bit there. That's why he's moving a little bit strangely. So he hasn't had a girth on for 3 months, and he's only 4. He's probably only had about 60 or so rides. So I'm just going to let him trot around a little and feel that. Just gives him something to think about. I'm not asking much of him at all. I'm just moving with him. The only thing I'm asking him to do is maintain the same distance from me. So not to come any closer. If he comes closer, I'm pushing energy towards his middle. If he moves further away, I just like restraining him a little bit with the rope, just giving him a guide of how far away he can move. Now we're going up to a trot again. Trot. Good. Now I'm going to send him out a little bit further, but not too far because it's so wet. So I wouldn't usually do this tiny a circle, but it's quite muddy around the edges today. Now here you can see he's having times where he's turning his nose out away from me. That's fine, but I would like him to engage a little bit more and lift his inside shoulder up. So he needs to be more active with his hind legs. There. And that way, when he gets more active with both hind legs, he lifts his shoulder and his head comes into a better position. Good boy. There we go. And walk. Good. Okay, let's go and see if we can have another little talk. So as I was saying, long reining is for driving and it's used for carriage driving. No, you can get back. Get back. Get back. Get right back. Go back there. Yeah, behave yourself. And it can be useful with young horses, just getting them used to having something on both sides of them, like your legs would be when you're riding, as well as steering. It's useful for managing the hindquarters, and especially on a circle, working on keeping the hindquarters in alignment with the forequarters and vice versa. It can help shape the horse, and it's just a good extra thing to do to have in your repertoire. Maybe you won't be able to ride for a while, so it's something good to have to do. I can also, instead of just leading my horse out, I can take him out and long rein him through areas where I might like to ride, and that will give him more confidence in going in front of me, which is what he has to do when I'm riding him. So to a horse, when you're sitting on your horse, it's not the same as when you're leading your horse. So when you're sitting on your horse feels like you're behind him. But when you're leading your horse feels like he's following you. Okay, so he started to play around again. So we're going to go and move him on again. Give him something else to do. Okay, so you could have a lunging whip or a dressage whip. I'm just using my rope to give him a bit of energy. So the movement of the rope gives him more energy. And my other hand gives him the direction I want him to move in. So if I want him to go forward, I push it forward. If I want him to slow down, I bring it back towards his hindquarters. If he comes towards me, I push him away from me. Good boy. Good boy. Good. And trot on. And trot. Trot. It's also a little distracted by wearing the girth today. So that's something interesting to take notice of when you're training your horse. Is he distracted? If he is distracted, why is he distracted? And again, here he's pushing his shoulder towards me. So what do I have to do? I have to engage his back legs more. So get him to go more forward. Get him to step under himself. So he lifts that inside shoulder up. Get him to go out on a bigger circle if I can. There we go. There, he's still pushing that shoulder in a little. There, that's better. But I don't want him to fall on the forehand. So I need to really get him moving. If you haven't got a whip to tap him with, then you need to use more energy from your body. There we go. Good. Good. And walk. No, don't come to me. Okay, now I'm going to ask him to step out and away from me a little. And now I'm going to back him. Back up. Back. Back. Good boy. Okay, we'll see if he can stand there by himself. I'm going to see if there's any questions. Okay. Welcome to that. I'm watching on my TV and chatting on my iPad. You're doing great. All looks good. Sound is great. Yes, can hear you. Looks great. Okay, awesome. Back up. Back up. Back up. So I haven't told anyone that I'm doing these chat lives yet. I haven't advertised them or promoted them on Facebook or anything like that. So just because I'm not very good at them yet. So if anyone starts watching, it'll just be by accident. But that's okay. Because what I'm going to do is take clips from this video and use it to make a video on doing long reining. Okay, so we've talked about what is long reining. You're using 2 long reins, driving your horse from behind. And when we would do long reining and why. So I guess how is another thing. So we might talk a bit about how it's really important that you get your horse ready for long reining. So various things can go wrong. One of the things you see happening the most is that people go back. This is good for you. You'll learn to stand still and behave yourself without interrupting me. Okay, so gosh, I'm sweating so much. Yeah, so some of the things that go wrong is people, if the horse gets a spook, they try to hang on with both reins. You don't want to do that because the horse can get really strong and just pull the reins out from your hands. So rather than trying to hang on with both reins, if your horse got completely out of control, if you let go of one rein and just hold on with the other, the horse will just do a circle around you, like lunging. So that's your emergency stop, your one rein stop when you're long reining, and it's a really important one to know about. The other thing that often happens to people is that one of the ropes will get stuck underneath the horse's tail, and the horse will get a fright and feel really uncomfortable about that. So we need to make sure that we prepare the horse with ropes first, make sure that the horse is used to ropes all around his legs and under his tail and flipping all over his body and that kind of thing. So, and also used to yielding to the pressure on the rope. So I'll just show you one way you can do that. So I might just throw the rope over his head, and then I can just flip it over this side of him. Now I would have already done a whole lot of work with ropes, which I have already done with him, where I've got him used to the rope being around him, holding him. Now the first thing you do here is just hold the rope behind his hindquarters and let him feel the feeling of it. So there he's trying to work out what that feeling means and what he needs to do. So I might just use that feeling and see if I can get him to step forward. So always remember to work with the horse you have today, and the horse I have today is not the horse I had at the end of last year. He's very much a horse that's been on holidays. So just walk him forward a little bit again from that pressure. Now your horse might not even be able to handle that. He might just need to wear it behind him until he gets calm and can just stand there. And you might need to do that several times before your horse is ready to do this. So the next thing I'm going to do is get him to turn his head to the side. And then I'm just going to walk away and put pressure on that rope and turn him around. So that's absolutely really important that your horse can do that before you do any long reining. Another thing you might do is walk on. You've got a big bitey fly in your butt. So he's got a big biting fly in his butt. I'll just try and get it. There it is. Hang on, stop and I'll kill it. We don't want big bitey flies on you. Where is it? It's gone now, of course. Walk on. Walk on. So another thing we might want to do before we start long reining with two reins is make sure that... Hang on, stop. I see the fly. I see the fly. Got it. Yes. Oh, it's got blood inside it. What a meanie. So make sure that you can send the horse in front of you. And again, you wouldn't just do this straight away. You're going to build up to it, starting with lunging first, and then slowly move back until you can drive the horse forward in front of you. You wouldn't do this with a horse that might kick. So you want to be really sure that your horse isn't going to kick out at you. You just want to be able to drive him from back here and see that he will go forwards when you ask him to. Next time I do this, I'll bring a little whip so I can reach better to tap him with it. It's a bit hard with this rope. It's not quite there yet where he'll just go from my energy. Okay, so that looks pretty nice. And then to finish that, I might just walk around and see if he'll follow me around. Good. And then I'm going to send him the other way. So send him this way. Do the same thing on this side. Walk on. Walk on. Good boy. Walk on. Walk on. I'm just going to let him feel that. Good boy. Good. Okay. So when you do all of these things, you're just making sure that your horse feels really safe when you're behind it without putting yourself in a position where it's hard to actually control or manage them, and without getting where you're in danger. So the other thing I would do is do this on the other side. So I'm just going to make sure I push his head that way first, and then just hold the pressure here and wait. It doesn't have to be much pressure, just light. Yeah, good boy. So if we know he can yield to that, then it's going to be a lot easier to control him from behind. Okay, now another thing I might do before I long rein him is just to short rein him. So I'll just put these little reins on. Don't. No. No. Oh, you're very annoying today. Can't wait till you get over this. Okay. You want me to spend some time giving you some entertainment? I don't think you're going to get over it. You just need some time to get over it. Okay, so I'm going to take these short reins. I'm just going to tap him on the butt. Walk on. And I'm just going to steer him with these short reins. Now, it might be a bit hard to start with because you both get a little confused. But pretty soon, he can learn. Yeah. I'm just going to stand here until I get some response from him other than trying to bite his saddle cloth. But pretty soon he can learn to move over. There we go. Good boy. Good. Good. So this is why I want to do live videos, because I think it's really important for people to see real stuff in real time, because not everything is always as pretty as most YouTube channels would have you think it is. Walk on. And I think when you do a live, it just shows you haven't cut anything. It just proves that what you're doing, well, if it works or not. But also it shows that when you have problems, everyone has these problems, right? And it's not just you. Don't give up. Everyone goes through these things. My horse today, he really doesn't want to work. And I didn't have any rewards for him, so that makes him want to not work even more. What he wants to do is play, not concentrate. So I could just give up on this session and do a play session, but I want to actually get him back into concentrating again. And sometimes you have to work through things. There we go. Good boy. So yeah, you can just short rein from up at the withers. Walk on. And okay, so he's just resisting that at the moment. So what I'm going to do is just stay there with him. I'm not going to try and make him do it. I just want him to feel the pressure and try to do something about it. So at the moment, he's just gone, I don't want to play any games. I don't want to do this stuff that you want to do. And I just want him to try a little bit. Good boy. Good job. So I'm not asking a lot of him. Walk on. Walk on. But it's feeding time too, which doesn't help. Good boy. Good. Good. Walk on. Walk on. Walk on. Walk on. So right now I'm using what are called aversives. So an aversive is just something that your horse wants to avoid. So a bit of pressure maybe. But what I really don't do is escalate the pressure. So I'll just use pressure to the point where I see he's noticed and he's thinking about that pressure, and then I will release it when I get a response from him of some kind. It doesn't have to be the right response even. It just has to be a response. So there I'm asking him to tip his nose to the right, which is hard for him to understand because I'm standing on the left. And when he does that, I'm going to release that pressure. And if you can even think of the pressure as touch rather than pressure, that can help you think a bit in a better way. So the halter is touching him on the left side of his face. If he gives to that touch at all, the rope will release. So if he moves away from the touch instead of into the touch, that rope will release. Now I'm going to ask him to turn. So I bring that out to the side. And I'm just going to touch him here on the shoulder. and get him to turn. Good. And when I want him to go backwards, and just put some touch on his nose with the rope as a halter, and then he'll go backwards. Okay, so now we've got a little bit of responsiveness coming. Now, he doesn't dislike this work. He actually enjoys it because it gives him something interesting to do. And it also means we can communicate. Walk on. So he's not sure if that's a nice pat or if I'm actually telling him to do something. So I'm going to pick my energy up. Walk on. There we go. Don't bite at me. Again, I'm just waiting for him to turn his head. Yeah. The first thing he has to do to turn to the left is bend his head to the left. Yeah, in a bit of a mood today. There we go. Good boy. And walk on. Walk on. Good. Walk on. Walk on. Good boy. So you can see he's not an easy horse. He's a really playful horse, and he is not afraid to use his teeth. He's been like that his whole life. He's picking up buckets when he was a newborn foal. So he's very handsy with his mouth. And that's something that I like to talk about too, because horses use their mouth the same way we use our hands. So if we can remember that, we're grabbing at them all the time with our hands, always grabbing at them. And then we wonder why they grab at us with their mouth. Well, that's their same way. They're communicating the same way we're communicating. So if I'm constantly touching him with my hands, he thinks that his mouth and nose is the same thing. So he's thinking, well, she's constantly doing things to me, so can't I constantly do things to her with my mouth? I can get her to do what I want with my mouth, the same as she's using her hands to get me to do what she wants. So if he moves his head away from me, I'll leave him alone. Then he's going to have a little play with his saddle cloth. What I'm very aware of is that he needs to learn to just stand by me and not use his mouth all the time. He can just stand there and relax and not have to do anything, especially when I'm talking, because that seems to be when he's at his worst, is when I'm talking and distracted. He's always trying to get my attention. So if I can just spend some time teaching him, and I think the best way to do that is by doing these live videos, just teaching him that when I'm talking, that's not time for him to interrupt me. It's just like a little kid, little toddler. So so I'll just spend some time working on that through doing a lot more live videos, and I'll see how he goes and if he gets better with it. Okay, so I'm just going to leave him here for a second. If you can look after him, that would be great. And I am going to go and get a little stick so I can communicate better with him, because my communication at the moment isn't being very good. So I'm just going to leave him there, let him work that out. He can follow me to the gate if he wants to. And I'm just going to go and get a little stick so I can reach and communicate a bit better with him. No, you can't come out. It won't be 2 seconds. So I don't know if you'll still be able to hear me all the way over to the whip area, but I use all kinds of different sticks in my training, from really little short crops to very, very long ones, and all kinds of thicknesses and whippinesses, and none of them are for hitting the horse. They're for increasing your reach and clarity of how you're talking to the horse. And you'll need a different one for different circumstances. So I've got so many different kinds. I was recently riding a horse that had been disciplined quite harshly with the dressage whip. So I swapped to and that was by someone else, not by me. And he was bolting on his young rider and absolutely terrified. So and he was also having trouble with getting jammed up and not moving forward when we were riding him. So I swapped to I swapped to a very, very short stick, and all I did was wave it in the air. I didn't even touch him with it. I just went like this in the air, and that was enough for him to get him a bit better off of my leg aids. So Romeo right now is telling me he wants to go out the gate. Walk on. But we're not going out the gate yet, Romeo. I know that you want to go eat grass, but you've been eating grass all day. And you were eating grass all yesterday. Sorry if this is really loud, guys. And you've got 24/7 hay in your paddock. I know that John's got the feed over there, hasn't he? He's got the feed. Yeah, he's getting the buckets out. That horse is running over to have its dinner. And you're not going to get any. It's not fair, is it? But you'll get some afterwards. Okay, so he's just standing over there by the gate watching that other horse getting its dinner. And I'm just going to let him do that for a minute. Yeah, so a whip is not meant for punishing a horse, in the sense that you're smacking it for doing the wrong thing. A whip is used mostly to indicate what you do want. So when you want something from your horse, you can put some energy into the whip, or you can touch your horse in a certain place, or you can chase the plovers out of the arena with it. Walk on. All kinds of things you can do. So here I'm just going to touch him on the butt, or I might touch him on the back hock. And trot on, trot on. Good boy. A bit wet, isn't it? Right, hopefully he doesn't knock the camera over as we go past. Trot on. What I'm going to do here is just try and get his attention onto me. There, it's come onto me a little bit. So I've got his ear and eye on me. I'm going to walk through that puddle. Good boy. Okay, so now his attention's come on to me and he's come back over to me. That's a good thing. I'm going to change his direction. Now again, I'm going to see if I can get his ear and eye looking at me. Yeah. And then I'm going to walk with him so we're in time with each other. Now this is a good way to get in tune with each other. So it's working on attunement, it's working on connection. So if I have his ear and eye and we're walking in synchronicity, then he's going to move with me. So if I want him to move out away from me, I put pressure towards his belly and he'll move out. Unfortunately, the water's not helping today. If I want him to come towards me, I'm going to move into the middle of the arena. Walk on. And just get the mozzies off his back. We've got so many mozzies up here in far north Queensland, it's ridiculous. Mozzies and biting flies. Okay, now we're going for a trot. Trot. Okay. Now what I don't want is his butt to push at me. I want him to be parallel to me. So if he's pushing his butt at me, I'm just going to put a little bit of pressure towards it and see if I can get his nose to come towards me. Yeah. I'm not sure why he started to do this, but it's just a new thing. Okay, now, when he gets it good, when he gets it better than it was, there, then I'm going to ask him to walk. So that's a little reward for doing a nicer trot. My body language just told him to walk, so I let some of my energy down and gave him more of a walking energy. Now I'm going to pick my energy up, give him the cue, trot. And walk. And work. Good boy. Back. Good. Well done. Good job. Okay, so this is a little walk on. Little communication we're working on is just doing a walk to trot. Trot. Don't you? You know, don't ya? You know. And trot. Good. Oh, there goes that food cart. Okay. Food is always a winner. And trot. Good. So sometimes I use food rewards and sometimes I don't. I want to be able to work my horse both ways. So sometimes some horses can be really food oriented, and then after a while they realize if they don't get food, they don't work. So I don't want my horses to be like that. Horses are smarter than a lot of people think they are. So here I'm just trying to get that connection back again. And we lost the connection because he saw the food truck and he went, oh, I'd rather be eating dinner, Mum. Let me show you with my body language that I'd rather be eating dinner. All right. Ooh, yeah. There you go. Now, the other thing I like to do is I think of my whip as the horse's tail. So you might have seen then that he kind of went around in circles with his tail at me. So when I was asking him to go faster, he was going, you go, I didn't want to go. So we both did the same thing. I did little circles with my whip and he did little circles with his tail. And then he kind of kicked those back legs out to say, no, I didn't want to do that. So I didn't punish him for that. I just kept asking until I got something I wanted or towards what I wanted. Walk. And I released him into the thought of what I wanted. So always thinking about releasing the thought. Okay, now we're going to change sides here. And this is one thing we're working on because he's a little bit sticky turning from going to the left to going to the right. So I've worked out it's mostly that he doesn't understand to move that shoulder away. So I've been just working on moving that shoulder over and then walk on. Good boy. I don't know if you saw that, so I might try it again. So I'll ask him to face me, back a little, move that shoulder over, and then walk on. So stop, get him to face me. Good. Back up a little. Now this is the sticky side, so he doesn't want to move the shoulder over on this side. I think it's a little bit to do with that back leg. There. Move it over again. There. Now you might have noticed this is also the shoulder that he drops in more on the circle. And walk on. So that could be because he doesn't want to step under with his right hind, or it might be because his left hind is a bit weaker than his right hind. Walk on. And trot. 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 So I would rather ask him 3 times nicely than escalate the pressure. There, I'm going to move that shoulder away again. Yeah, good. So you can see when I have the stick, I can direct it to where I want it to go. So I can move it to the middle of his body or to his hindquarters or to his shoulder and just influence his body in all different ways until I can even do things like leg yielding and shoulder in and even quarters in, although he seems quite good at quarters in at the moment. Trot, 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 trot. Good boy. So this isn't really long reining, this bit, but it's a good prep for long reining. Because the more communication you have with your horse, the better they're going to be at long reining. Good. Trot. Trot. I want him to think about how he's moving his body. I'll touch him here on his back leg because he's pushing that towards me. Now again, he's distracted by the tractor, so I'm just going to keep working him through this till I get his attention back on me. And then I'm going to release my body language a little bit because I want him looking at me more. Yeah, good. Good. No. No. So I've taught him yes and no. Yes. No. Yes. No. Yes. Walk. Good boy. Walk on. Walk on. Walk on. Want a little bit more attention from him before we stop. There. And woo. And back. 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 Good. He's a little bit distracted today more than usual. That could be any number of things, but possibly it's just because he's had such a big break. We haven't done a lot for quite a few months. So again, that sticky shoulder. I want to loosen that up. Yeah. Step him over a little. There we go. And he's also out of condition. He's probably lost a lot of muscle tone. He's got flies all over him. It's hot and sticky. So being autistic, I understand all those things because I feel them all too. Come on. And come on. Come on. And they really bother me, but I also have that part of my brain that hyperfixates, so I can concentrate really well. And sometimes I get too fixated on my training. I have to remember that my horse might not necessarily be having as good a time as I am. So to be a bit careful about fixating too much. Hey, Romeo. So, I mean, these side reins on him here, they're not really doing much. They're just kind of sitting there, probably giving him a little bit of I can never say the word. Being able to feel his own body in space and time. I have to practice that word like 1,000 times to be any good at saying it, I think. Proprioception, something like that. Yeah, so just having them there on each side of his neck, he can feel them touch his neck, and that's just giving him enough guidance there to help him stay a little straighter in his body. And that actually may be why he was tilting his hindquarters in a little bit more, because he couldn't bend his neck as much as not that he couldn't, he was able to bend his neck, but he was feeling those reins there, and so that was just keeping him that little bit straighter. So yeah, so those are some of the things you could do if you wanted to prepare your horse for long reining. You don't necessarily have to do all of those things, but it's a lot of fun, and you certainly can learn to do them. And I'm hoping to share a lot more of this kind of stuff on my channel. If you have any questions or anything that you would like me to focus on, if you could put them in the comments section rather than on the live chat, and I will make sure that I get to those things. I'm having a bit of trouble with viewing the live chat at the moment. No, you don't need to come up here. You go back. 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 Thank you. Okay. So I don't know if it saves the live chat or not, but anyway, I'll get better at this soon. It just takes a little practice. So I've been going for 72 minutes already, so I might wind it up there. And next week I'll do a bit more liberty and a bit more on long reining. We'll actually do some long reining with 2 reins, and yeah, we'll see how we go from there. Yeah, just make sure if you watch any of my videos, say hi in the comments, like and subscribe, and let me know what you think of Romeo. I think he's pretty special, cheekiness and all. Also, I'm going to be doing some weight loss videos as well about how there's a lot of stuff going on about people being overweight for riding. Personally, I've never been under 90 kilos in my life. Well, maybe when I was 17, but like since I've had kids, I was never under 90 kilos. So there's a lot of shame and guilt in the horse industry about being overweight. So I'm just going to do some videos about that too. Okay, so I will talk to you all later. Thanks for watching.